6 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 5 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Mark 5 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 4 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this Georgia show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-831-0861. Mark 4 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Mark 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this Georgia show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-831-0861. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear touchdown, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Touchdown! Studios, start your archive recording. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime, Mark, 15 seconds, stations. Have fun.
Is a presentation of the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, welcome to Bulldogs Live, presented by Wells Fargo. For the next 2 hours, we're talking Dogs football. Hear from head coach Kirby Smart and get in-depth analysis from Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars. All that and more is right here on Bulldogs Live. Bulldogs Live, presented by Wells Fargo, is brought to you by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Piedmont, the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs. Hoffman Financial Group, helping build your financial dynasty. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Drive sober so you won't get pulled over. Georgia Farm Bureau, always the home team. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs. And by Northside Hospital. Northside Hospital and its employees in North Georgia are proud to support your dogs. Visit northside.com. Now, alongside head coach Kirby Smart, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. The two-time defending national champions are set to open their season this weekend as preseason number 1 ranked Georgia will face the Skyhawks of UT Martin from the FCS. That game at 6 o'clock at Sanford Stadium in Athens on Saturday night. Our coverage of the Bulldogs will begin at 2 p.m. on opening day. Coach Smart is here tonight. We'll answer your questions sent in by you on social media. Hashtag AskCoachSmart is the way to get your questions through on your favorite platform, and you can send them in anytime during the week. Kirby Smart is into his 8th season as the Bulldogs head coach, and we'll hear from him in just a few minutes. The second hour of Bulldogs Live tonight features the Bulldogs All-Stars, former Georgia players giving you their thoughts on the Dogs and taking your phone calls. Neil Hondo Williamson guides you along in hour 2 of tonight's show. Adam Gillespie is our on-site producer and engineer tonight here on Bulldogs Live. We thank you for joining in, and we'll come back with the head coach, Kirby Smart, right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
They're not just the Bulldogs, they're your Bulldogs. Customize your Wells Fargo debit card or open an account today and show your Bulldog pride with every purchase. Get started at wellsfargo.com/Bulldogs. Wells Fargo is proud to be an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Copyright 2023. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Dos Equis knows Georgia game day is filled with iconic traditions. Hunkering down, the hedges, the dog walk. The pregame text to your ex for her dad's cable login so you and your buddy can stream the game even though you promised last season you were just about to get your own subscription. Whatever your game day ritual is, make sure you're doing it with a real one. Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2023 Dos Equis. Imported by Cervantes Bank Econos, White Plains, New York.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
The Hilltop Grill opened the night David Green hit Michael Johnson at Auburn, sending the Dogs to the SEC title. In the years since, Hilltop has become an Athens favorite, featuring premium steak and seafood. Locally owned, the Hilltop gives you the finest in food without the hassle of downtown. With an open and covered patio, reservations available for all occasions, private parties, and a sensational Sunday brunch. Hunker down and head to the Hilltop at 2310 West Broad. Call 706-353-7667. That's 706-353-7667.
365 days a year, just call us up, we'll be right there. Our service is guaranteed. As you make, we take great care. Our experts are always there for you and your family's needs. When your family just can't wait, you can always count on streaming.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Welcome back to Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Thanks for joining us tonight. This program brought to you by Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. We thank you for joining us tonight. We've got some questions lined up for the coach that you sent in via the hashtag AskCoachSmart on social media. We'll get to those in just a moment. We want to welcome in the coach. And Kirby, good to see you. How's your week been so far?
It's been really good. It's some interesting weather, up and down, rain and hot, and it was hot early and then rain late, and it's been a unique week in terms of first game of the season is always different because you're on a little different schedule.
Game week. Does that bring out the best in your guys? Do you see the anticipation and practice of getting ready for that first game?
I think you see a little change in temperature and a little change in gearing up from playing against each other. It's the first time that we really get to go against scouts some, so you see that, and you see guys kind of getting excited when they watch that other opponent's tape and they say, all right, we get to go against somebody else.
Can you point out some of the guys who are on your scout team who's running the other team's stuff?
Well, we do a little different. We roll guys through there. So if you're a 2 on defense, you're going to roll down to the scouts and you're going to share that spot because you get good work. You get to go against the 1. So we kind of send everybody to the scouts with the exception of the guys that are returning starters. Almost every player goes down and gets a period down there. So it's so many guys, it's hard to pick just 1 or 2. How have you liked what you've seen from your guys in this month coming out of camp and now getting prepared for that first game? Has this group started to come together? Yeah, I thought they had a good, really tough camp. I wouldn't say it was our best preseason camp because we had a lot of heat. We had to really push through that, and it was not comfortable for anyone. We found out a lot about ourselves having to work through that. Sometimes we worked well through it. Sometimes we didn't. Individually, we had guys that had really good camps, but then we had some guys that needed to step it up. That's probably true in every camp. But this week, it's been more about specifically getting healthy and getting ready. You cut back on the volume of reps so that you can prepare for specific things that the opponent does. How healthy are you going into this first game? I wouldn't say that we're as healthy as we've been in the past for game ones. We had some injuries coming in. We've had some guys get injured during camp. We've probably had more guys out this camp in a whole as we've ever had. Do you feel good about your depth to be able to cover up for some of those injuries, perhaps? No, I never feel good about my depth. I mean, you don't feel like you have enough when you go out there to practice. You've got guys that are not able to go or not going or maybe haven't played, but there's not many positions that I can say, I feel really good about the 2s and the 3s at that position. It's just there's not enough depth anywhere in college football to do that. Is there a position group or some guys individually that have, really kind of thrust themselves to the top, maybe compared to what they've been doing last year or the year before, that they've really, it's clicking in now and they've figured things out? Well, I think we've had some returning guys that started last year and played a lot last year that have had good camps. I don't know that there's anybody that hasn't started that I can say is just, taking the bull by the horns and really lengthened the gap. Most of the jobs that are being competitive and that somebody maybe didn't return in that spot, it's multi-players competing, and they're multi-players doing a good job.
What is that first game? What are the practices like? You talk about your focus is on Georgia a lot. Is that how it continues to go during the week, or is there are there moments during practice when you when you're looking at that opponent on Saturday and I'm not really sure what I'm trying to get out here, but I'm just wondering how much focus, how much attention is paid to the opponent coming up that week, and how much the guys focus on that as you're going through practice during the week.
Well, that's the primary objective. That's what we talk about in a game week is UT Martin, who they are, who their returning players are, who their transfers are, who we expect to see, who did what last year, what they might change. We're studying their tendencies. We work on them during the practice. We always do that. We're not treating UT Martin any different than anybody else we play. We do good on good when we play every opponent, so we still do good on good during the weeks. I think the speed of the game is important, and who you go against is important. If you can get in the game and you're going against somebody that's your same speed, it's going to make it easier to play in the game. So that's what we focused on this week, just like we would any week.
And based on your study, have any of their players that you've seen on video impressed you?
Yeah, they've got several guys. They've got a couple all-conference players. They've got a great left tackle. They've got a pass rusher in Dotson. They got slot receiver. This coming back, a really good tight end that was a freshman All-American. They got a quarterback transfer from Ole Miss. They got a really quality team. They play really hard and physical on defense. They attack your edges and come off the edges. You got to be smart with what you do to not give up lost yardage plays.
What's the gap now between the talent level of players in the FCS compared to the FBS?
It's hard to measure. I think that would be relative to which school you're talking about. Maybe you start talking about an SEC opponent, and then some conferences are geographically in locations where there are lots of good players, and they're able to get more good players. But on the whole, there's a gap. It's just a matter of which teams you're referring to.
And they have what's their scholarship limit? It's in the 60s, right?
Yeah, I want to say 65 or 67, but they can chop them up. They can give partials and give this guy a little, give that guy a little, or they can go give fulls. They got equivalencies.
Georgia and UT Martin is the season opener on Saturday night, 6 o'clock. We'll be on the air with you at 2 to start our coverage of Georgia football and the season opener. We hope you will join us. Tonight's program brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. We've got some questions lined up for the coach, ready to go. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart is how you get them to us on social media, and we'll check in with some of those right after this timeout on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, y'all, your summer is going to sizzle because the new Hot 7 scratchers are here. They are loaded with cash and are so hot you can roast a marshmallow over them. I ain't kidding. I mean, matches just light themselves just by looking at them. They might even give you a suntan. Go get you one to win some cool cash. Well, that was ironic.
Win up to $2,777,777. Play the new Hot 7's family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
We know y'all are busy. You don't have time to wait for insurance quotes. That's why at Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, we've added convenient new ways to get that incredible customer service we're known for. Now you can get a quote and secure policies over the phone in minutes. Call now at 877-404-1050 to partner with a company you can depend on when you need it. Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance.
We are Farm Bureau.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, dog fans, East Georgia Cancer Coalition here. Did you know vaping can cause nicotine dependence? Vapes are not just water. They contain harmful ingredients that can be bad for your heart and lungs. So, when it comes to vaping, you've got to kick 'em to keep screaming sick 'em. For more information, visit EASTGAEAWGS.org.
back-to-back national champions. Wow. Football season is here, and we at Acura and Volvo of Athens couldn't be more excited. For over 30 years, it's been a privilege to be a part of this elite community welcoming fans down the Atlanta highway. With a large selection of vehicles, an unbeatable sales team, and award-winning customer service, Acura and Volvo of Athens is the place to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle. So come by Acura and Volvo of Athens to see why our customers keep coming back to us.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. We appreciate you tuning in tonight as the Dogs are getting ready for that first game of the season. Georgia and UT Martin on Saturday night at 6 o'clock at Sanford Stadium. Let's grab some of the questions that you sent in via social media. Tonight's hashtag Ask Coach Smart brought to you by Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned, locally focused. And let's check in with Larry from Roswell, Georgia, Coach. And as we mentioned, a 6 o'clock start. He wants to know what your thoughts are on that night kickoff.
Well, I'm excited. I tell you, I don't love sitting around waiting all day to play and having to watch other games and all kinds of thoughts going through my mind. I like to be able to wake up and go play that middle of the day kind of game. But it's been so long since we've had one at home that I'm excited about that. You know, it leads for a little more time recruiting, a little more build up, hopefully a better atmosphere, and typically, you know, better weather for the most part in our neck of the woods this time of year. So all those things lend itself to let's go play and jump on it at 6.
How do you eat up that time that you have? That, you know, if you're playing a 3 o'clock game or a noon game or something that you don't normally have.
Well, the later it is, we have a little more time with our players. We get an extra walkthrough, an extra mental practice to keep them, you know, not going too long without thinking about what they have to do. We want to have another mental practice, but we get more time with recruits and we get more build up, a couple meals, you know, extra into it.
Mark in North Augusta, South Carolina, how much is yoga part of our guys' training?
Well, we do yoga. We've started it as a tradition here of doing it actually on Thursday. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we do it on Thursday of the game week, and the players enjoy it. I think they really enjoy it because they don't have to practice. So when you trade out practice time for yoga time, that's
a no-brainer.
Big bonus for them.
Let's see. John in Athens, Georgia. Do you have any history of playing against Tennessee Martin?
Not that I remember. It's funny. I don't. The years I was at Alabama, we might have played them once, but I don't remember it. So I can't say that I do. I don't think we played them while I was here.
This is a pretty good program. They've won their conference the last 2 years. What are your thoughts on them?
They do a great job. Like when you win your conference, and they've got one of the most competitive conferences there is in terms of the geographic area is around really good football players. All the teams they play, the Kennesaw States and the teams they play are very talented, and they got good players. They do a really good job. So we've got a lot of coaches on our staff who have coached in the OVC, so they have a lot of respect for the teams that come out of that conference, and they've won it.
Yeah, and you've talked a little bit about it this week, but Trey Scott, your defensive line coach, was one of those guys that started at that level.
He sure was. He started there at UT Martin and has a lot of respect for this coach, and we know that they'll leave no stone unturned, and that this is, you know, a big moment for them to come in and play in a place like this.
William in Athens, Georgia, how do you decide who speaks to the team during camp?
Well, we typically look at a calendar. We reach out to other schools. We share information in terms of who have they had that has been good. I mean, your kind of coaching tree helps you. So if I have people that are head coaches at other places that worked for us or with us, I call them and say, hey, what do you think about this guy? Who did a good job? Who's somebody new that's off the radar we haven't used? You don't usually like experimenting with something like this, because once you get them and if they're not good, you're stuck with it for 45 minutes to an hour. Some of it's based on what topic needs to be covered. You know, we want somebody to come in and speak on gambling because it's more rampant, or, you know, driving and safe driving. We try to get and cover everything we possibly can, because we have their attention for 10 to 12 days before school starts, and we have unlimited time with them. So we try to occupy that with something that'll help them in life.
Who are some of the names that people might recognize that you brought in this year?
We used Maria Taylor, who we've used several times. Sylvester Kroom, who we used, and he did a tremendous job. We used, who else do we have come in and talk? We had somebody come in and talk on gambling. Dante Stallworth, Tennessee receiver. So we had Shep is a motivational speaker and kind of spiritual side. He does a tremendous job. So we had a lot of guys. You find that to be helpful? Do the players find it to be helpful and interesting? Yeah, I think it breaks up the monotony. We do it at a point in time at night when they're coming off practice and they've showered and eaten and gotten a little free time, so that they come in looking forward to it, and it takes the place of some of their meeting time, which they enjoy. They like the speakers, and they can just learn life lessons from people who have lived further in life than they have. William, thanks for your question. You can send them in anytime. Hashtag AskCoachSmart is how you get them to us here on Bulldogs Live. We're here every Thursday night with the coach taking your questions. And Georgia fans, if you want to do an NIL deal with a dog, go to georgiadogs.com/NIL to connect with a student athlete on a sponsorship, commercial appearance, autograph session, and more. We'll step aside for just a moment, come back for the coach right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
There's nothing quite like Saturday between the hedges at Sanford Stadium. And as an official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs, the Hoffman Financial Group knows that in retirement, every day is Saturday. Whether your goal is to follow the Dogs to every game, home and away, or gather with your friends to watch at your own doghouse, the Hoffman Financial Group is here to help. We all have dreams of when we want to retire and all the fun things we want to do. But then, all the questions come up. Did I save enough? What if taxes go up? What if the market goes down? The Hoffman Financial Group can help answer those questions and more with a complimentary portfolio x-ray. Get your game plan for retirement started today. Call 770-758-6288. That's 770-758-6288. Or online at unleashyourmoney.com and set up your free portfolio x-ray. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through the Hoffman Financial Group, Inc. Georgia Insurance License 163546.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Ever wish you could make your Mondays go a little bit smoother? Here's a pro tip. You can order online to dodge the line and kick off your week with free coffee Mondays. Every Monday from September 1st to December 18th, Dunkin' Rewards members can get a free medium hot or iced coffee with any purchase. And you get to earn points to spend on even more free Dunkin'. Not a member? Join Dunkin' Rewards on the app and get even more Dunkin' deals. Nothing beats Dunkin' Rewards. Proud partner of your Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia is our home. That's why at Georgia Power, we're building the future of energy. Over the last decade, we've invested nearly $10 billion to strengthen the electric grid, installing new substations, upgrading transformers, moving power lines underground, and investing in cleaner energy. We're making the electric grid more resilient and reliable for you and for future generations. At Georgia Power, we know that making smart investments today prepares us to meet our customers' needs tomorrow.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Thanks for joining us on Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart, as the Dogs are looking forward to that showdown with UT Martin, the season opener on Saturday night, 6 o'clock. We're on the air with you at 2 p.m. here on the Bulldogs Sports Network for our coverage. Hope you can join us this weekend for a full day of Georgia Bulldogs football. Let's get back to your questions you sent in via the social media platforms. Hashtag AskCoachSmart is how you get them to us. And Alan in Noonan, Georgia, sent his in. And, Coach, he wants to know who is winning reps in practice, offensive line or defensive line?
Well, it depends on which day. It's tended to not be a 50-50 day. It's been a all or nothing, a 75-25 day, and there's been probably more days the offensive line won out over the defensive line. But I mean, it's not just the D line; it's the outside backers, the linebackers. You know, are you talking about pass pro when they've got a long time to hold the ball? Then we all point the finger at the D line, but that usually means somebody's covering somebody well too. The longer they hold it, so it's going back and forth like it does every camp. I think the health on the O-line has been better, and we've had a few D linemen out from time to time. So there's been that may be part of it, but they both have their share of wins and they both have their share of losses.
On the offensive line, how many players do you feel comfortable with, kind of in a steady rotation?
I would say there's probably 8 to 9 guys that you could rotate. There's a drop-off. I mean, there's a group there that's ahead of the others. There's a couple of them that are about even, but we're going to try to play the guys that play winning football, and I'm really comfortable with about 8 or 9, which is very similar to last year. I think we played 7 or 8 consistently throughout the year.
How challenging is that position for a freshman?
Yeah, it's almost impossible for a freshman. I mean, you better be well-versed. You better be talented. You better come in early. You better get practices under your belt. You better come in shape, because you don't get used to the size and speed of the game, and plus the complexity of what we're asking you to do protection-wise is very different than high school.
And as we sit here on this Thursday night, 2 days before the game, what does your left tackle spot look like? Has that competition been really good?
Yeah, it's been great. Those guys have battled. We've rolled guys in and out of there. We've had Dylan Fairchild over there. We've had Truss over there. We've had almost every guy work through there. Obviously, Ernest and Velasquez have both been over there, and you got to have multiple people that can play multiple positions. So we've had several guys go over there and work.
That seems to be a pretty steady trait of your teams, that cross-training, I guess, if you will, teaching guys to play multiple positions. One, why do you like to do that? And two, how successful is it?
Well, you have to do it. It's not a like to or dislike to, because if you don't do it, it's basically stupidity, because you're not going to have somebody there all the time. You have to have backups. You have to have a plan. You have to find ways to get your best 11 on the field, and that does not always consist of playing the backup. It may be playing the backup at a different position and moving somebody else to that position that somebody got injured at. So we continue to do that, and I think that that helps set us apart, because we create depth, and sometimes you create more knowledge by going to play other positions, and you understand what the person next to you is doing.
That's got to be extremely helpful, too, for the individuals that move on to the next level and play professionally.
You hope so. You hope that gives a little value and creates some value. They can do multiple things, and obviously those NFL teams only have a limited roster, so they want their players to be able to do more.
Chip in Dublin, Georgia, sends this one in. How do you encourage your leaders to become more vocal?
Well, we put them in situations to let them lead. I don't think you can ask somebody to be more vocal by making them do it. You get them comfortable opening their mouth in front of small groups and then larger groups, and you give them opportunities more often to fail and mess up, because you're only going to get comfortable at something doing it quite a bit.
There's another leadership question from Tom in Savannah. How much has your leadership changed from last year's team?
A lot of similar leaders. We lost some really good ones, obviously, to the draft, but we got a lot of the voices back in terms of maturity, been playing, been around the block. They know what it takes, but they still have to be willing to do it. Just being a good leader is not enough. You have to lead, but you have to go out and do it and act on it yourself.
How is your senior group this year? It's not an overly large group of seniors. I guess that's just kind of the way the game is nowadays. A lot of guys don't stay through their senior years, but how do you feel about your group this year?
Yeah, specifically seniors, I don't even know that I could tell you, because I look at it as third year and beyond. Are you in your third year and beyond? Because that's the maturity level we look for in terms of leaders. They've been through some tough times. They've been through hard times. They've been through some hard practices. So that group is a really good core group. I can't specifically say, it's just the seniors, but it's that core group is good.
This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart, taking your questions. Hashtag AskCoachSmart is how you get your questions to us. And tonight's Hashtag Ask Coach Smart is brought to you by Greenpoint Ag. Greenpoint Ag, farmer-owned and locally focused. We'll step aside for just a moment and come back for more with the coach right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Sir, you're now being placed on arrest for driving under influence.
What does that mean?
That means you were tonight in the Great Bar Motel. During your stay, you'll be photographed, fingerprinted, and given a stylish jumpsuit. And each room has an en-suite bathroom.
Is all this free?
Oh, no. Fines, court costs, and legal bills could add up to $10,000 or more.
Save your money for a real hotel. Drive sober, or we will pull you over.
This message brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
They're not just the Bulldogs. They're your Bulldogs. Customize your Wells Fargo debit card or open an account today and show your Bulldog pride with every purchase. Get started at wellsfargo.com/Bulldogs. Wells Fargo is proud to be an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Copyright 2023. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
At Greenpoint Ag, we know what it takes to help you win on the farm. Whether you're focused on offense or defense, we evaluate the specific needs of your operation through every stage of your growing season to bring you the best in farming. Your success is our passion, so don't settle for a field goal when you can score a touchdown. Greenpoint Ag is game day ready to serve as your trusted agronomic advisor. Learn more about our full array of agronomic and ag technology services at greenpointag.com. Farmer owned, locally focused. We are Greenpoint Ag.
365 days a year, just call us up, we'll be right there. Our service is guaranteed. As you make, we take great care. Our experts are always there for you and your family's needs. When your family just can't wait, you can always count on Shanae.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart back with you, and thanks for being here tonight. It's brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's look ahead with the coach right now. It's brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. The penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000. That's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. All right, well, the big thing you're looking ahead to, Coach, is that first game on Saturday, a couple of days away, and ready to play somebody else, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Go out and find out where we are. We got to get a measuring stick of some sort, and you do that in the first two scrimmages, but you don't. You go against yourself, and the guys need to go play somebody. And you watch all these preseason NFL games and the opening weekend of college football, and you're just dying to get out there and go play. So it's what our kids need to do. They need to get out and go play.
How much of a measuring stick do you feel like this first game will be for your guys?
Well, you have to find out at night, atmosphere, how they respond. Regardless what's going to happen, there's going to be good and bad, and our response to that is way more important than the actual good and bad. So I want to find out, do we handle when we do things well? Do we handle when we do things poorly? And how do we respond?
Watching some of the games last week, something just kind of jumped out at me, and it's creating turnovers versus tackling. I saw a lot of plays last year. The defense tries to make a stop, and they're trying to pull the ball out, but all the while, the ball carrier is still moving down the field. Maybe he gets 3, maybe he gets 4 or 5 more yards while they're trying to pull the ball out. Is one of those more important to you as a defensive-minded coach than the other?
Yeah, that's a tough question, because you can certainly make a case that statistics show turnovers are much greater indicator than just tackling, and every coach is going to tell you they want both. I mean, I want somebody that's going to go up and make the tackle, and I want to create turnovers. You can certainly create turnovers with physical, high-speed collisions, and tackles are great indicators of creating turnovers. If you hit somebody hard enough, you can separate them from the ball. But most takeaways are just that. Somebody took the ball away. And if you're just tackling, then you're not taking the ball away. So you'd like to have both. And we try to give our guys a skill set or an art to it, meaning if someone has him wrapped up, then you become a takeaway. Or, is he near the sideline? Do you have help coming? You got to take chances and risk at the right time.
So there's kind of an art to it.
You'd like to think so. I mean, everybody teaches it, and everybody's trying to do it better than somebody else.
Let's grab a question from hashtag Ask Coach Smart. Liz in Atlanta, what is your favorite part about fall camp?
The grind. My favorite part is always when it's not the first day of pads, not the second day. It starts getting monotonous, and it's hot, and we're on that day 7, 8, 9, 10 of a 20 practice grind, and they can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we have one of those days where we have to start something over, or we have to redo it, and just seeing how they respond. Do they quit, or do they fight through? And I like kind of seeing who handles that well.
As a player, what was your favorite part?
The off time.
The end of it, yeah.
The 2 hours we got between practices was the greatest time. I thought it just went too fast, but back during two-a-days, we would play cards and take a nap, and I can remember my alarm clock going off to go to the second practice, and you felt like it was morning time, but it wasn't. It was afternoon time, and you had to go practice again.
Was it much more difficult mentally when you had two-a-days?
Well, I certainly think so, but my players think that I'm just an old geezer. They think we're always talking about how we did it and how there's no way it was that hard. But I mean, when you did 2 practices a day and 3 practices a day in high school, it was it would make you question why you're playing.
Can you give them a taste of that nowadays, or no, is that against the rules?
No, we can't do that. Too many collisions.
Let's grab another question. Let's see. All right, something a little different here. Michael in Dunwoody, Georgia. What is your favorite pregame meal?
Well, we have so many options. There's no such thing as a pregame meal. It would be a pregame buffet. I mean, they have every choice known to man, from smoothie to ramen to steak to chicken to pasta to lasagna. I mean, they got everything. So my favorite is to usually get grilled chicken and some kind of pasta. But these guys, man, they got every choice they could. I mean, you want them to enjoy what they eat, so we give them a lot of options.
When do y'all eat on Saturday before a 6 o'clock game?
2. I mean, it's 4 hours before kickoff.
Is that in this facility over here? You have somewhere else?
No, we're usually wherever we're staying. So whatever hotel we're in, we eat in that location.
Gotcha. All right, good deal. Thanks for your questions here on Bulldogs Live. Hashtag Ask Coach Smart. You can send them in any time during the week on your favorite social platform. So do that, and we'll use them here on the show on Thursday nights. This is Bulldogs Live with the head coach, and Georgia and UT Martin are getting ready to face off on Saturday night, 6 o'clock. We're on the air with you at 2 for our coverage of Bulldogs football. So we hope you will join us, and we'll be back for more with Coach Kirby Smart right after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
When you look to Northside Hospital Heart Institute, you see excellence. With a mission to heal your heart, we use the most innovative techniques and treatments, all to provide patients customized options and the most effective outcomes. Northside's cardiac surgery program has earned the highest rating given by the Society of Thoracic Surgeons for both open heart surgery and aortic valve replacement. No matter how routine or complex your heart care, you can always look to Northside. To learn more, visit northside.com/excellence.
The open road sounds about the same for everyone. But in a new Toyota you love, it sounds more like...
Yes!
Woo-hoo! Hit the road in style at the Toyota National Sales Event. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for $319 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through September 5th, 2023. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3618 due at signing. No security deposit, but select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey dog fans, East Georgia Cancer Coalition here. Did you know vaping can cause nicotine dependence? Vapes are not just water. They contain harmful ingredients that can be bad for your heart and lungs. So, when it comes to vaping, you've got to kick 'em to keep screaming sick 'em. For more information, visit eastgaawgs.org.
Sir, you're now being placed on arrest for driving under an influence.
What does that mean?
That means you earned a night in the Green Bar Motel. During your stay, you'll be photographed, fingerprinted, and given a stylish jumpsuit. And each room has an en-suite bathroom.
Is all this free?
Oh, no. Fines, court costs, and legal bills could add up to $10,000 or more.
Save your money for a real hotel. Drive sober or we will pull you over.
This message brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
This is Bulldogs Live with Coach Kirby Smart. Dog fans, be sure to check out the G-Shop or at GeorgiaDogs.com for exclusive releases of Nike Game Day official apparel, just like the coaches wear. Visit GeorgiaDogs.com and the G-Shop today. Questions from you for the coach. Hashtag AskCoachSmart is how you get them to us. And Jeff in Snellville, Georgia, wants to know, Coach, what are a few things that Carson Beck is doing well right now?
Well, he understands the offense. He knows the checks, how to get us in and out of the right plays at the right time. He's had good pocket movement. He can take off and run when he needs to. He's really a good athlete, and he's been throwing the ball well. So I feel good about the way he's playing, but I feel like for his growth, he's got to go out and play in a game, get some live opportunities, take some hits and throw some balls away, and show that he's going to make good decisions under pressure. But that's the next step for him, is to go play and kind of get game continuity with the receivers.
He was talking the other day about how long it's been since he started a game. I guess you have to go back to high school, and he was just kind of shaking his head. He said, "Yeah, it's been a while, but now this is his moment, and hopefully he has a lot of success with it."
Yeah, I know he's excited to go out and do it. It's been a while for him.
Can you tell us a little bit about the other quarterbacks and some of their things that they do very well with Brock and Gunner?
Yeah, they both had really good camps. I can see their comfort level in the offense, where there was an uneasiness, I think, in the spring, even with Gunner and Brock, at maybe where their eyes should be, what their check should be, verbalizing the call, what to do when everything breaks down, just getting comfortable. And they are just so far beyond where they were, because the fall camp scrimmages and practices, I thought both of them had really good grasp of the offense. They proved they could take the things Bobo asked them to do, the looks that we gave them defensively. They would put us in the right plays. They helped with protections. They both are very bright and have done a really good job, especially for guys that didn't get a ton of reps, with the ones. They went with the 2s and 3s primarily, and did a great job of that.
Jumping over to the other side, how much have you been able to learn about UT Martin's quarterbacks?
Yeah, well, we're kind of, one of them's transferring in,
right? And
we knew about him, and obviously we had tape of him playing some, but outside of that, we don't have a lot. There's not a lot there, and they've done a really good job at that position. You can tell that's the position that they develop and they work with.
Do you feel like you're going in a little blind like that, or is that not a good descriptor for that?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, blind would be having not seen them play at all. We know, and some of these guys we knew in the quarterback circuit and through recruiting, but we've seen some of them play, and that helps you.
What do they like to do offensively?
Well, they're like everybody. They've got the ability to spread you out. They've got perimeter run game. They got perimeter pass game. They keep you honest with the RPOs, and they're able to throw those. They do some formation and boundary things and some tempo things to keep you honest. I think it's interesting. They'll watch all the tape of us last year and see where people had success, and obviously that's what we do too. Is where can we copycat what somebody else did to find success for ourselves.
Bonnie in Athens has our next question from hashtag Ask Coach Smart. Is this time of year chaotic when the players move out of camp and get ready for the first game, and then classes start back as well?
I wouldn't say it's chaotic. It's when school starts, it's a little chaotic, but we're well into that now. We're already into a week, 2 weeks into school, so the toughest time is the move out from camp, start school, get in a groove, get in a routine of going to school each day. That part, but that was a little over a week ago.
Bonnie, appreciate your question. We'll come back for more with the coach in our final segment coming up. We want to remind you to follow Georgia Bulldogs All Access on social media by searching at UGA_GBSM. Georgia Bulldogs Sports Marketing provides your inside connection to UGA athletics with exclusive updates and behind-the-scenes content, including Kirby Smart's all-access TV show. You can follow at UGA_GBSM. We'll step aside one more time and come back with the coach right after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
I'm John Addison, a Georgia graduate, lifetime Bulldog fan, and chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica makes the maximum impact on the communities we serve through our concepts and products and by giving back through the Primerica Foundation. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue our long-standing tradition of sponsoring Georgia athletics. Go Dogs!
Dos Equis knows Georgia game day is filled with iconic traditions. Hunkering down, the hedges, the dog walk. The pregame text to your ex for her dad's cable login so you and your buddy can stream the game even though you promised last season you were just about to get your own subscription. Whatever your game day ritual is, make sure you're doing it with a real one. Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2023 Dos Equis. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
365 days a year, just call us up, we'll be right there. Our service is guaranteed. As you make, we take great care. Our experts are always there for you and your family's needs. When your family just can't wait, you can always count on Shimei.
Back-to-back national champions. Wow. Football season is here, and we at Acura and Volvo of Athens couldn't be more excited. For over 30 years, it's been a privilege to be a part of this elite community welcoming fans down the Atlanta highway. With a large selection of vehicles, an unbeatable sales team, and award-winning customer service, Acura and Volvo of Athens is the place to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle. So come by Acura and Volvo of Athens to see why our customers keep coming back to us.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. Once again, here's your host, the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Final segment with the coach here on Bulldogs Live in this first hour. Stick around for hour number 2 of our show tonight, the Bulldogs All-Stars with Neil Williamson, coming up in just a few moments. They'll take your calls and your questions and talk about the Dogs, get you ready for Georgia and UT Martin on Saturday. Tonight's Bulldogs Live presentation is brought to you by Wells Fargo, the official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. And a couple more questions for the coach here. Let's see. These are kind of weather related. Witt and LaGrange, how much did the heat help our conditioning recently?
Well, it was hot. I can promise you that. It's been the hottest fall camp we've ever had here in 8 years, in terms of how many times we either had to go in it or needed to go in it. It was one of those deals where like the scrimmages caught us on really hot days. We didn't catch a cool day. We were going outside on several hot days, so we stared it in the face. And we didn't always win, but we always went up against it, and you find out a lot about your team, and I'm very comfortable that we exposed them to it enough that if we catch a really hot game in the season, we should be able to compete and play in that, because we made the conditions in practice much harder than the game would be.
From a weather situation, how do you know that when it's a benefit and when it can be a hindrance to you?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to pick up on. Earlier in camp, I look at it as a benefit. Later in camp, I look at it as a hindrance, because there's timing, there's throwing. You have to get the timing offensively and defensively to go against speed. And ultimately, you're not going against the same speeds when you're playing in those conditions. You're literally at times trying to survive the practice when you get to a point of an hour and a half in that kind of heat.
Ryan in Sandy Springs wants to know if the team practices in the rain or if they go straight to the indoor facility.
We always do a little rain work, and then we simulate it if we have to. We spray the balls down and have coaches with water, spraying the specialists, the snappers, the centers, the quarterback. Anybody who handles the ball will deal with water before we get into a game. We have not had a lot of rain practices this camp, but we've practiced it.
What are the messages from you and the rest of the coaching staff to the team as you get ready for this first game of the season?
Well, the messaging is simple: to dominate our opponent, and you do that by preparing the right way. And we've talked all week about setting the standard for how you practice in season. A couple years in a row we've had SEC opponent or Clemson or Oregon to prepare for, and this year it wasn't that way. So does that mean that you don't have to set the standard? You don't have to practice that way? It doesn't. It means you got to be at your best, and we've challenged our team to do that.
Is there any messaging or wording for the new guys that haven't been in that atmosphere that they'll be on Saturday? Any kind of a anticipatory speech or conversation that you have to have with them on what to expect?
We don't talk about it much. We know they'll deal with the anxiety internally, and there'll be much bigger moments following this one. So we want to find out how they react, and that's why we do what we do in the spring game, and we prepare in the spring for a spring game and make it as real as possible for moments like Saturday night, where we have some of our rosters gained experience from being a mid-year and actually doing that.
Is this build-up exciting for you as the head coach? Do you get little butterflies?
Well, I get butterflies regardless of who we're playing or what game it is. I mean, it's an opportunity to go out and put your work on showcase and say, hey, what have we done to prepare better than our opponent? So regardless of what game it is, I feel that way.
Any final message for the fans before Saturday?
Just be there and be loud. I mean, the biggest thing we can do is impact our recruits, our stadium, our atmosphere, and like I tell our players, don't be complacent. We want to get out there early and often and be as loud as possible.
Kirby, thanks very much. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to the Dogs on Saturday. Georgia and UT Martin coming up 6 o'clock Saturday night. We've got your coverage of Bulldogs football starting at 2 o'clock here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Stay with us now. We've got another hour of Bulldogs football talk coming your way with Neil Williamson and the Bulldogs All-Stars. That is up next. Our thanks tonight to our on-site producer-engineer, Adam Gillespie. And in the studio, it may have been Luke Nadkarni. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll thank Luke regardless. I'm Scott Howard. We'll see you next week. And go Dogs on Saturday, Georgia and UT Martin coming up. See you on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, y'all, your summer is going to sizzle because the new Hot 7 scratchers are here. They are loaded with cash and are so hot you can roast a marshmallow over them. I ain't kidding. I mean, matches just light themselves just by looking at them. They might even give you a suntan. Go get you one to win some cool cash. Well, that was ironic.
Win up to $2,777,777. Play the new Hot 7's family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Hello, I'm Neil Pruitt, Chairman and CEO of Pruitt Health. Our Georgia Bulldogs have shown us what happens when a great team pulls together. At Pruitt Health, our team helps you recover from surgery or a major health event. Nurses, therapists, a whole team dedicated to giving people the personalized care they need. Come join the Pruitt Health team. Email hireme@pruitthealth.com. That's hireme@pruitthealth.com. Pruitt Health is a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
When choosing a natural gas provider, look out for blitzes, tricky schemes, or formations meant to distract you, like introductory rates, hidden fees, and poor customer service. Walton Gas knows that customer satisfaction is about having more than a great rate. After over 20 years of providing natural gas to homes and businesses across Georgia, Walton Gas continues to give each customer straightforward rate plans and the best customer experience. Call Walton Gas or visit waltongas.com to learn more about Georgia's most trusted natural gas provider.
Hey dog fans, East Georgia Cancer Coalition here. Did you know vaping can cause nicotine dependence? Vapes are not just water. They contain harmful ingredients that can be bad for your heart and lungs. So, when it comes to vaping, you've got to kick 'em to keep screaming sick 'em. For more information, visit eastgaawgs.org.
News,
weather,
traffic, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 8 o'clock, I'm Jennifer Griffiths. Our top story, a stabbing at the Fulton County Jail has left one inmate dead and 2 others injured.
It's no secret the Department of Justice back in July launched an investigation into this jail due to reports of all the violence and also reports, of course, of the conditions.
Channel 2's Michael Seiden reports this is the 5th death in a month and the 8th in a year at the jail. 78 degrees in Atlanta, mostly clear skies tonight, lows in the mid to upper 60s, partly cloudy and breezy tomorrow, highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. The governor, who has been the target of Donald Trump's ire over the lost election, says history is trying to repeat itself, and some people have very short memories.
Rejecting Republican calls for a special session to oust Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis, Governor Brian Kemp says he didn't do it to overturn the 2020 election, and he won't do such an end run now.
It's not feasible. It may ultimately prove to be unconstitutional.
Kemp calls it political theater as he's seen no evidence that Willis broke the law.
In the state of Georgia, as long as I'm governor, we're going to follow the law and the Constitution, regardless of who it helps or harms politically.
Still, he says the indictment's timing sows distrust during election season. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
A former top prosecutor is condemning efforts to target Fonnie Willis for indicting former President Donald Trump.
Amid calls for a special session to strip Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis of state funding, former Gwinnett County DA Danny Porter says,
constitutionally, the role of the legislature is to provide funding, and to threaten that funding over one individual case seems to me to be a really bad thing.
He believes independence and discretion are key to the job of a district attorney.
To threaten a prosecutor, that's just out of place for a legislator.
He says it's now up to the courts. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
The devastation and the aftermath of Hurricane Idalia is intense. The storm destroyed homes and businesses from Florida to North Carolina. Homes were ripped apart and debris scattered all over in the community and the coastline, with buildings knocked off their foundation or simply gone, replaced by wreckage. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp expected to tour Valdosta in South Georgia and other areas, one of the hardest hits during that storm. Meantime, insurance experts estimate the price tag of Idalia's damage could reach as high as $20 billion. Sad news to report. East Point police have positively identified the body of a missing 2-year-old whose body was found in a garbage transfer station as Josiah Mitchell. The child's father, who's already been arrested for lying to police, is expected to be charged with his son's murder. Operation Sneaky Peach leads to the arrest of 26 people on child sex charges.
The undercover sting operation has landed more than 24 people in 28 counties in the backseat of a cop car, slapped with child porn charges. GBI Special Agent in Charge Brian Johnston.
They're pictures right now, but at some point that was a real live event involving a real live child.
He says they found 30 children living in homes where online child exploitation was occurring. He says that's important because
we have seen a direct correlation between those that want to view the child pornography images and those that eventually will commit a hands-on offense.
Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Going to be the start of Georgia Bulldogs football weekend on WSB.
Even after winning the last 2 national championships, Georgia center Cedric Van Pran says the team is pushing for more.
Definitely still working, always looking to be better.
Tight end Brock Bowers says after a long preseason, he's ready for a game.
Yeah, I'm excited. Just go get
go get tested and get to go against someone else besides our guys.
Coach Kirby Smart says he knows fans are happy for an early evening kickoff.
I'm excited to get a little bit later game.
The opponent is UT Martin, the two-time defending champs of the Ohio Valley Conference. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It is 8:04. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Josie Rock is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And it's a rough ride on the East Freeway. Traffic still trying to recover from those earlier crashes on I-20 eastbound between I-285 and Panola Road. Up in Spaghetti Junction, you're jammed leaving Duraville and heading into Norcross. And a travel advisory remains in Jefferson. Right lane crash, I-85 northbound, south of Highway 129, exit 137. Take Highway 124 as your alternate. I'm Josie Rock, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Mostly clear for tonight. Temperatures falling into the mid to upper 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy. Almost feels like fall with a high in the upper 70s to low 80s. Saturday morning lows in the mid 60s. Saturday afternoon, mostly sunny, high 82. Staying dry through the holiday weekend.
80 degrees in Kennesaw, 81 degrees in Lawrenceville, and 80 degrees in Fayetteville. More news at 9 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jennifer Griffiths, 95.5 WSB.
At Barty Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, we take air conditioning very seriously. You could say that we eat, sleep, and breathe everything AC. We rise and shine thinking about air conditioning. Lunchtime, crushing sandwiches and thinking about sweet, cool air that comes from a freshly repaired AC system. Bedtime, we're laying our heads down thinking about how we can make it cooler tomorrow for more of our neighbors. I'm Adam Barty, and my team thinks about AC all the time, so you don't have to. We're only a couple clicks away at Barty.com, and now you can save $49 off any AC repair.
For comfort and care, Barty is there.
My name is Juanita Segura, and I was diagnosed in November of 2014 with non-small cell lung cancer. Biomarker testing was a turning point for me. By working with my oncologist, we were able to determine the most appropriate treatment plan. My fear was I wasn't going to be here to see my children grow up. That gave me hope, knowing that I have that chance. And I did. Visit noonemissed.org for more.
A public service message from Longevity Foundation.
You've heard from the head coach. Now we break down the Dogs with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars. Get ready for another hour of tonight's edition of Bulldogs Live. Now, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
You guys hearing anything?
Hear you. Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if they have me.
You know what we're going to do, folks?
Well, you know what we're going to do, folks? We are going to talk as though you do. Hello and welcome. It's a beautiful day for us to all be getting ready for football here. T-minus 46 hours and counting until the domination continues. Hello, Bulldog Nation. The 2023 campaign, overflowing with promise, is upon us. Two-time defending national champion Georgia kicks off the season Saturday night on Dooley Field versus UT Martin. Thanks for joining us to talk about the Dogs tonight. And alongside, in our seats, are a couple of DGDs. My old buddy Josh Brock. It's like your 10th season here, you think?
Sean and I were talking about that before. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah. That's good. That's fantastic. Josh, paving the way for Musa and Thomas Brown. And Sean, then you paved the way for Thomas for a year, right?
Yes, sir. And no Sean, and we had some good ones.
No Sean. You had Washawn Ely, yeah. And, of course, you were playing with Matty Stafford as your quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And you had Shock and David Green, Josh. A couple of guys here who had a whole lot of fun in red and black and won a whole lot of football games. It's great to have you back for another season, Sean. I'm really glad you're here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Time to break in the new season, guys, as players who are both just a gnat's hair away from a number one ranking. Just a gnat's hair away. You finished number 2 in 2007. You finished number 3 in 2002. The success of the past 2 years, the number one ranking going into 2023, it's got to be exhilarating for all you guys who wore the G. I mean, you got to just love this.
Absolutely. It's I say a great time to be a Georgia Bulldog. It's always been a great time, but especially now, it seems like when you're driving around town, whether it's here in Atlanta or back in Athens, the flags, the G flags are out. They're flying higher and prouder than ever. And even when you travel, down to Florida or throughout the Carolinas, you see them everywhere. And it's always great to see the Georgia G flying high.
I would like to say that I'm jealous, but I'm not 100% certain that I am, right? Because the practices have been everything but saying, "Oh, you're not worth number one. No one still thinks you're number one. Don't read number one." I guarantee you, Kirby has found some poll somewhere or some article somewhere where so and so said you're not going to be worth this year. So yeah, it would be difficult to be a part of the Bulldog Nation practices right now. But yes, as an alumnus and a letterman, it is a lot of pride going into the season.
It's a wonderful time. Sean, you get out to practice much?
Probably not as often as I'd like, but a few here and there.
A few here and there, yeah.
Yes,
I've been out to a scrimmage or two already, a scrimmage in practice this year. And it has been nice to hear Coach Smart on more than one occasion say, "Oh, Joe Moore winners, Joe Moore Award nominees, huh? I don't think so." All right.
Exactly.
When the offensive line isn't pushing it through. So you're right. He's letting them have it out there. And I guess we'll talk about that when we come back. Not opening against Oregon, not opening against Clemson. It's in Arkansas 3 years ago. It's a different take here than what we've opened against in the past few years. So we'll talk about that when we return. We have Sean Chappis and Josh Brock, and our phone number is 888-813-2947. That's 888-81-DAWGS. We'll be back with more in 2 minutes on the Bulldogs Network.
We know y'all are busy. You don't have time to wait for insurance quotes. That's why at Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, we've added convenient new ways to get that incredible customer service we're known for. Now you can get a quote and secure policies over the phone in minutes. Call now at 877-404-1050 to partner with a company you can depend on when you need it. Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance.
We are Farm Bureau.
What's up, dog fans? I'm bringing you some exciting news. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, is ready to help you win big in the homeownership game. Southeast Mortgage has a game plan tailored to your needs to get you in the end zone of your dream home. So whether you're a proud alum or a passionate fan, Southeast Mortgage will help you finance your home. It's time to huddle up with Southeast Mortgage. Visit our website at southeastmortgage.com/UGA to start your home financing journey today. NMLS number 103956. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee number 6578.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
The Hilltop Grill opened the night David Green hit Michael Johnson at Auburn, sending the Dogs to the SEC title. In the years since, Hilltop has become an Athens favorite, featuring premium steak and seafood. Locally owned, the Hilltop gives you the finest in food without the hassle of downtown. With an open and covered patio, reservations available for all occasions, private parties, and a sensational Sunday brunch. Hunker down and head to the Hilltop at 2310 West Broad. Call 706-353-7667. That's 706-353-7667.
Let's get ready for game day, Dog Nation. Tee things up with a smooth, refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Whether you're tailgating at Sanford Stadium or hosting friends at home, keep that cooler filled with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. With a 5% kick of alcohol, Twisted Tea is easy to drink and tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted, Dog Nation.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Alcohol for 21 years and older. Please drink responsibly.
Now's your chance to talk live with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars on Bulldogs Live. Reach the crew at 1-888-81-DOGS. That's 1-888-813-2947. Once again, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
Hey, great to have you with us. We have Sean Chappis, Josh Brock, and your calls. The man with the really good voice just told you the number. So pick up the phone, call us. We want to talk to you guys. We have, we were talking about the difference in opening the season, not against Arkansas, not against Clemson, not against Oregon as we have the past 3 years. And instead we have UT Martin coming in. And then next week we have Ball State. So it's not even like you get the second week that you're getting jacked for. How much of a difference does that make in the players? I mean, you guys both played, in their minds as you're going through it in August.
Zero.
You're
ready to hit another team with another color, right, Sean? Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
And you're so amped up to play in Sanford Stadium for the first time, too. And you got to remember, Sean and I played in the day pre all these crazy TV deals, right? So not only are you playing somebody in UT Martin that you have to have mutual respect for, but you're going to be excited for, but we were also doing it at noon. Yeah. You know, games, this is a 6 o'clock kickoff, so you have all day for that to build up in you.
Exactly. And I think coming out of training camp, coming out of spring ball, I think you're just excited to hit somebody other than your teammate. You know, I think being under the lights will be nice. That always seemed to add a little bit of extra energy, and just hitting a different color, I think, will have these guys juiced up, and I'm sure Coach Smart's got them ready to, not take UT Martin lightly.
All right, very good. Thank you. We have a new offensive coordinator, Mike Bobo. You know, meet this new boss, same as the old boss. Isn't that what the Who sang, right? And Mike's back in it. He was quarterbacks coach when you were playing, Josh, and then he was your OC, right?
That's right.
Right, Sean?
That's exactly right.
And now he's sitting in the seat. And how different, and it's not just going to be because of him, but there's no Stetson Bennett. We have a different style quarterback, a different skill level quarterback, and I just mean he has different skills than Stetson does. No Kenny McIntosh, no Darnell Washington. How different is our offense going to look this year with all of these, what I would call major changes, quarterback OC?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and that's, I think, a lot of what Dog Nation is excited to see starting on Saturday. I do think it helps a lot that Coach Bobo was on staff last year in that analyst role that he had, and his familiarity with the roster and with the talent that is coming back, and of course with the offense that Todd Monken has left behind and kind of the terminology and things. I'm sure he's adapting his thoughts and his vernacular of the terms into a way that the guys can understand it and relate it back to the Monken system that they were in last year. So I know I'm excited to see it. I think we all are, and I know he's a heck of a coach, and definitely he's fired up himself to get out there and get him going.
Oh, Mike's fired up.
I don't know if I don't know if I've ever met anyone more competitive than Mike Bobo, and that's saying a lot, right? Because you have Coach Smart and Coach Muschamp also too in these coaches. I don't know if there is anyone on this planet more competitive than Coach Bobo, and to me, the thing that's going to be fun to watch is think about all the prolific offenses he had with Aaron Murray and Matthew Stafford and all those guys. He never once had a receiving core like this group.
Yeah.
Not once. Yeah. And really not close either. No disrespect to any of the true amazing talents and great football players that were here during that time. The depth of talent at the receiver position is unmatched in recent Georgia history.
All right, that's great. We'll come back and take some calls. Hanky and Ken, hang on. There'll be our first two callers of the night. It's 888-813-2947. That's 888-81-DOGS. Georgia kicking off the season against UT Martin on Saturday. Our programming begins at 2 p.m. That's Dog Talk pregame with Jeff Dantzler and Kevin Butler. Then at 3 o'clock, it's your tailgate show with yours truly, Lauren Smith, DJ Shockley, the voice of the Dogs, Scott Howard, and some kid named Zaire we picked up on the side of the road. We kick off at 6:02 right here on your home of the Dogs, the Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network.
One of the toughest jobs in law enforcement is telling a family that a loved one has been killed by a drunk driver. That's why Georgia law enforcement works every day to keep drunk drivers off the road. Every DUI arrest could be one less family to lose someone to drunk driving. You can help. Hand the keys to a designated driver or call a ride service. It saves lives and prevents a costly DUI arrest. Drive sober or get pulled over. Brought to you by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
When you look to Northside Hospital Heart Institute, you see excellence. With a mission to heal your heart, we use the most innovative techniques and treatments, all to provide patients customized options and the most effective outcomes. Northside's cardiac surgery program has earned the highest rating given by the Society of Thoracic Surgeons for both open heart surgery and aortic valve replacement. No matter how routine or complex your heart care, you can always look to Northside. To learn more, visit northside.com/excellence.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
The open road sounds about the same for everyone. But in a new Toyota you love, it sounds more like...
Yes! Woohoo!
Hit the road in style at the Toyota National Sales Event. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for $319 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through September 5th, 2023. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3618 due at signing. No security deposit, but select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Everyone deserves to smile like a champion, and Smile Doctors Orthodontics is here to help you, Dogs fans. Smile Doctors accepts most insurance on customized braces and Invisalign treatment plans with in-office financing and 0% interest, so anyone can get the confident smile they've always wanted. With some of the country's leading orthodontists ringing the bell all over Bulldog Nation, it's easy to find a clinic near you. So get that amazing smile you deserve. Visit SmileDoctors.com today and book your free consult. That's SmileDoctors.com for Smile Doctors Orthodontics. And go Dogs!
Now's your chance to talk live with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars on Bulldogs Live. Reach the crew at 1-888-81-DOGS. That's 1-888-813-2947. Once again, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
Thanks for tuning in. Georgia averaged 41.1 points per game last season. That was fifth best in the country. We were talking about Mike Bobo, and we should also mention our new quarterback. I mean, we're 19, 20 minutes into the show, and I'm just bringing him up now. Carson Beck. Sean, why don't you tell us what we can expect to see from Carson Beck and how his game will be different than that of Stetson Bennett's? Obviously, Stetson's ability to giddy up and go is something that we won't see as much out of Carson.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Carson has a great arm. The arm talent's there. We got to see some of him last year in some cleanup games, right, when the lead was well in hand. So I think the big question mark is, what will he do when the lights come on? He's the starter. I don't think he's started a game since high school down in Jacksonville, Florida. So it'll be interesting. I know he's fired up. I think we're all fired up to see him. And, yeah, the mobility is definitely, I think, the first thing you think about when you're looking at the differences between him and Stetson. But he may have a little sneaky athleticism in him, but certainly not the scramble artist that, Stetson came to be.
Yeah, definitely not a statue. But the main thing that folks will notice, not that Stetson had a weak arm by any stretch of the imagination, but Carson Beck has elite arm talent, and you'll see that on full display. Making throws to the far hash, to the boundary is a very, very difficult throw, and you'll see him do that with relative ease. And that's another thing that Coach Bobo will get to use with his toys in the tool chest there, with all the talent that he has in the pass catches.
Yeah, back to that great receivers room that you were talking about again, and the tight ends.
We didn't mention Carson Beck for a while, but it took a long time to mention Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers, yeah, very good. All right, let's go to the phones because I know people have been hanging on. It's 888-813-2947. We have Josh Brock, Sean Chappis, and your calls. And Hanky, you're on the phone. How are you?
Pretty great, guys. I'll tell you what, it is great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Two-time national champions. It is a long time coming. I'm hoping we get that three-peat this season. The schedule looks good, except for Ole Miss. But you know what? I think we're going to be pulling through, and go Dogs. And my biggest question is, do you guys think that we are going to get a three-peat? Y'all have a good night. Go Dogs!
See, you don't have to be playing a top-tier opponent to be excited about playing a game. But no, thanks for the call, Hanky. Yeah, we're all excited. Do I think we'll repeat? Yeah, I think we do. We never went into a season thinking that we couldn't win the national championship. Sean, did y'all ever go into a season thinking you just flat didn't have a chance?
Certainly not. No, I think beginning of the year, everybody's 0-0. Everybody thinks they have a shot, and this team definitely on paper has as good of a shot as anybody. When you look at the talent, when you look at the coaching staff, when you look at the schedule and the way it's lined up. That being said, I don't want to jinx anything. I'm going to knock on wood. I'm a pretty superstitious guy. But certainly we're in the conversation. Certainly, just keep chopping, right? One game at a time. But the talent, all the ingredients are there. It's just a matter of putting it all together.
Oh, they are in the schedule, and then we get a playoff. I love the playoff. you guys are too young to remember. I tell my kids, and they look at me and they think I'm making it up, because I'm a wise guy. I'm always fooling around with the family all their lives. Like, I don't know. Dad might have just been over there with President Clinton, and they're like, they're little. I don't know about that. Anyway, when I tell them that back in the day, the winner of the Rose Bowl and the winner of the Sugar Bowl and the winner, because there were the matchups, right? The winner of the Orange Bowl and the winner of the Cotton Bowl could be from 4 different conferences, all be undefeated.
All claiming a national championship.
All claiming a national championship. Well, we're undefeated. They're undefeated. Why are they better than we are?
They can pull a Central Florida and just say, hey, we're the national champions for the year.
And they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look right down the street. Oh, did that come out? I thought that was going to be inner voice. I'm kidding. They got it in one poll. One of the polls gave it to them for beating the 19th team and ranked team in the nation in their bowl.
Nebraska was the national champions that year, though.
Yeah. What year? 1990?
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I thought they beat Nebraska. Number 19. Wasn't Nebraska number 19 in the nation?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
That's who they beat in the bowl. Anyway, let's go back to the phones. Ken's from Macon, and you're on with Sean Chappis and Josh Brock. Hello, Ken.
How you doing?
Great.
I tell you one thing, I'm looking forward to my man Carson Beck. I've been rooting for him ever since he came from Adrian County, but I'm from Macon, Georgia. But I looked him up on YouTube and found out about him, man. I'm really excited. I went to one game UAB and kind of disappointed through the interception for a pick six, but Bryce Young and even Pro threw a pick six. I think he probably learned his lesson, played right behind Stetson Bennett, and I guarantee you he's gonna be on the rampage on getting that record of passing for UGA this year.
Well, I sure hope you're right, Ken. What do you think, fellas?
I hope so, too. Ken took a big bite of that Allman Brothers peach tonight down there in Macon. But, no, Carson has a lot of talent, right? And he's, bided his time, didn't transfer, did the right thing, followed the DJ Shockley rule, right? And has an opportunity to be one of those beloved Bulldogs in his shot at being a starter.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. I don't want to make the comparison, but the one that comes to mind, the more recent one that comes to mind in the same vein as Shockley is if you look over at our Western counterpart in the SEC, Alabama, when Mac Jones kind of sat and rode the pine there for those 3-4 years he was there before he got his shot, and then of course had his time in the spotlight, their magical run, and capped it off with a national championship with the Tide. So another Jacksonville kid too, Mac Jones and Carson Beck. So maybe Carson will be able to ride that magic as well and keep it going. You like these plugs?
I love the Jacksonville plugs.
I wonder who's a Jacksonville guy.
I just got to, draw attention to the fact that Jackson produces great talent.
It does. Bowl school specifically, right?
Yes, it does.
Chipper Jones and Winton Mays, Georgia baseball player, went to bowls as well.
Yeah, I think Chipper Jones is kind of where you can stop right there. The guy's in the hall.
You can.
He's up at Cooperstown, but I'm just kidding. We can have Sean Chappis in there right along with him.
I'll take the backseat to Chipper.
No, that's fine. That's a riot. Okay. Fellas, running backs, concerns, health. I mean, golly Moses, we've got 5 guys, then we've got 4 guys, and coach is saying we need 6 guys, and you look at the 4 guys and you say they're really talented, but how many of them can go?
Yeah, that's another big question mark, especially heading into week 1. You just wonder about their health, right? Who's ready to go? And when you talk about Kendall Milton and everybody's asking about his hamstring, those are tricky injuries, right? Josh, I don't know if you ever had a hamstring. I was lucky enough. I don't know. You ran fast enough to get a hamstring.
Don't pull hamstring.
I didn't hit the MPHs needed to pull a hammy either. I got lucky and never pulled one, but that's a tricky injury, right? Because it's kind of a soft tissue deal. You don't know. I mean, he could look great in pregame warmups, break a long run, and then it jumps up on him and bites him. So those, even though he may be healthy on paper, it's kind of you're always kind of holding your breath. Is he going to be okay? Make it through all 4 quarters? But I think it's going to be a running back by committee attack, and we'll see how Dejon Edwards does, and Andrew Paul. Hopefully he's back to 100%, and then hopefully Kendall Milton can stay healthy.
Yeah, don't disagree. The group's very talented. It's going to take every one of them to finish the 2023 season the way we want to.
Yeah, and Roderick Robinson, who's a freshman who's came in about 240. Mm-hmm. He is a sizable young man.
Big boy.
big boy. Watching him hit the line, I was like, that's a Sherman tank right there.
And Cash Jones, too. Don't forget Cash.
Yeah, I was just about to bring up Cash as well. I mean, last year in the end of some of the games, I mean, talk about running with some juice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Cash just absolutely takes it, runs downhill.
Running with a purpose.
Yep, very good. Good hands, too, out of the backfield. We'll see who we're throwing to as well. Don't forget that Dejon Edwards caught a lot of balls in high school. A lot of people don't know that. Dejon caught, I think, 69 passes out of the backfield in high school, something like that. Right? Yeah, a whole lot. So when we say, Kenny, it's funny because I read a guy last year, and I'm not going to say who it is because I like the guy, but he was saying, how can we ever replace what James Cook was able to do catching balls out of the backfield? And, then Kenny McIntosh went and set the record. So I always believe there's the next guy up who could do it, especially with the kind of talent we're recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the tight end room too. That's so talented. Don't think for 1 second that they won't roll out in 12 personnel on a regular basis, which is 1 back, 2 tight ends, and sometimes with the depth, depending on how the health is in that room with both Lawson and Lucky, which I don't know if Lawson's playing this weekend, but you have Pierce Sperlin as well too. So those guys playing a role in the offense. I mean, you're going to see, Sean's position these days, the fullback's been replaced by that H-back, right? That can do a lot of things out of the backfield. And if you can line up one of those 3 or 4 back there as well, then maybe you don't necessarily have to lean on the running back room as much.
Yeah, they were creative last year too in getting, Brock some touches in the running game, some of those speed sweeps and things. And so, to your point, the depth in that tight end room and the receiver, depth, maybe we can figure out creative ways to get them passes behind the line of scrimmage, whether it's in the screen game or in the speed sweep game, whatever it is, to get some more touches and some talented hands.
Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey combined for 5 rushing touchdowns last year.
Oh, and I saw Ladd McConkey at North Murray High School so many times in his high school days just absolutely crush opponents playing quarterback. He's just an unbelievable athletic kid, right? And he was a quarterback in high school and is one of the top receivers entering this season in the country.
Yeah, I got to talk to his dad before one of the scrimmages. Really nice guy, and the rest of his family was there, his girlfriend, and all. Very nice to speak to everybody, but spoke to his dad. Okay, we have Sean Chappis, we have Josh Brock, and we're looking for more calls because we have a couple of lines open. 888-81-DOGS. That's 888-813-2947. If you're spelling dogs, spell it like you're from Georgia. DAWGS on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, y'all, your summer is going to sizzle because the new Hot 7 scratchers are here. They are loaded with cash and are so hot you can roast a marshmallow over them. I ain't kidding. I mean, matches just light themselves just by looking at them. They might even give you a suntan. Go get you one to win some cool cash. Well, that was ironic.
Win up to $2,777,777. Play the new Hot 7's family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Good day, dog fans. We want to thank you for all the cheers, the energy, and the hype that makes the sport we love what it is. But have you ever needed the same kind of energy for your everyday? Kick off your day with some Dunkin'. Go for a dozen sweet and delicious fan favorite donuts. Snatch some food and fuel up to power through the day. Tackle the day with a perfectly brewed iced coffee. Or get cozy and warm up from the inside with a pumpkin spice latte. Start the day with the right play. Make a run to Dunkin', proud partner of your Georgia Bulldogs.
This is your home of the Dogs. You're listening to the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
What's up, dog fans? I'm bringing you some exciting news. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs, is ready to help you win big in the homeownership game. Southeast Mortgage has a game plan tailored to your needs to get you in the end zone of your dream home. So whether you're a proud alum or a passionate fan, Southeast Mortgage will help you finance your home. It's time to huddle up with Southeast Mortgage. Visit our website at southeastmortgage.com/UGA to start your home financing journey today.
NMLS number 103956. Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensee number 6578.
In Georgia,
Georgia, college football is a way of life. And whether it's between the hedges in Athens or from the comfort of my bear cave, Scana Energy's part of it all as a proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. So let's join them in cheering on the Dogs to glory this season. Sign up with Scana today and get up to $100. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/GoDogs for details. Limited time offer, terms and conditions apply.
Now's your chance to talk live with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars on Bulldogs Live. Reach the crew at 1-888-81-DOGS. That's 1-888-813-2947. Once again, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in tonight. We're here every Thursday night. We rotate our All-Stars because these guys have families and lives and jobs outside of this. Why don't we talk about that for just a second? Josh, how's your family? How are the girls?
We're doing great.
Yeah.
12 and 5 now, and in all kinds of sports all over the place all the time. So I actually came from a softball game today to get here. We were in Rockmart and had to come a different way than normal to get down to the studios tonight.
Yeah, very good. That's great. And you're still in investing.
Still a financial advisor.
Financial advisor. Very good.
Rules prohibit me from saying who I am over the air and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want this.
Oh yeah, well we don't want that
tomorrow or something along those lines.
Well, thank you, Mr. Trump.
Compliance has to approve everything. So yeah, but I am a financial advisor. I can't say that.
Yep, very good. And Sean, how are you?
I'm great.
And your little girls?
Yeah, girls are 3 and 1. So I'm going to lean on Josh here for some dad advice as the girls continue to grow. And work's going great. I'm with the Athletic Association, working in the development office for the Georgia Bulldog Club. Had a great day over here visiting with some great donors and alumni. I'm sure everybody knows the Seelig family. Got to spend time with them at lunch see a great development they have called The Works down in Midtown. That's a really, really cool place. Got to see that. And then had some other visits around town. And then just so happened to come get to hang out with you guys tonight and talk a little Georgia football. So,
which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a dog. I mean, President Moorhead says it best. He says, UGA really is an academic and athletic powerhouse.
Yep.
And I think that's never been more true than it is now.
Well, if anybody has a big bag of money that they want to give to us, Sean Chappis is the guy to call.
Absolutely.
Athletic Department, ask for Sean Chappis.
Call us. Call the Bulldog Club. We'll take it and put it to good work, good use.
And I'm not going to plug you because I don't want. You don't look good in orange.
I just haven't seen you in town. Usually, so Hondo's meeting with my neighbor business partner there, and all of a sudden he hears this guy holler, "Hondo!" one random morning, and it's me walking into my office in downtown Cartersville, and I see him.
I was there like 3 weeks ago.
Were you really?
Yeah, I texted you and said,
"Did you really?"
Yeah,
man. So.
Okay.
My phone has been acting up. I did not get a text from you, so
I
apologize.
That's all right.
My wife can attest to that. She's listening. She knows I'm not lying because we've called and talked 3 times a day, and something's happened every single time.
All right, very good.
It's always my fault.
All right, calls. We'll take your calls at 888-813-2947. That's 888-81-DOGS. We have Sean Chappis and Josh Brock, and if asked what's the most talented position room on the team this year, a lot of people are going to say our offensive line. That's what I've gotten from a lot of people so far, even though we lost 2 tackles to the NFL. Josh, what can we expect from the Maulers up front?
A lot of what you've seen the last couple of years, just 5 guys that work in unison very, very well together and can block you multiple different ways based on how you try to stop them, right? So we saw a group of guys really fit into and do a very good job with the zone blocking run scheme early on in the year. And then as the season went on, you couldn't necessarily do that too much against Ohio State. And then the way TCU played defense, you couldn't do it hardly at all against them and had to do more of a man-up blocking scheme. And you saw those guys just be versatile and be able to make plays. And as big as they're massive human beings.
Massive.
And they are incredibly athletic still, which is mind-boggling, right, to see how big they are and how well they move. But the one thing you don't normally say that a position group is sewn up. I know Kirby Smart doesn't necessarily like saying that at all, but 4 of the 5, it's sewn up, right?
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if SVP doesn't win the Remington Award this year. He was the best center in the country last year. He'll be the best center in the country again this year, and he'll be a first-round draft pick. because he's just that good and that special of a player, and decided to come back for his senior year.
Yeah.
And lots to play for with that group, losing a comrade in the offseason the way that they did. Lots of guys. That galvanizes a unit and galvanizes a position group. So I'm excited to see how that group comes out and plays.
Absolutely. And I'm sure I'm going to name drop here Ben Jones. You guys remember Ben? Played center for us, played, going on 12 years in the NFL, 13 years maybe. He played for Coach Stacy Searles, our offensive line coach. And so this year in training camp, Ben came back for a day and spent a day in meetings and at practice and kind of embedded himself and gave tips and pointers here and there to some of the offensive linemen. And, Coach Searles invited him back to do so. And in talking to Ben afterward, hey, did you enjoy practice? Was it fun? I said, how are they looking? And he said, Sean, they're good. I said, you mean talent-wise or the cohesion of it? He said, both. So when a guy that's been in the league for 12 years, he's seen a lot, gives kind of a pretty rave review of what he saw in his 24 hours around the team, certainly made me feel good about things.
All right. You're making me feel good now. I hope you're making all the people out there feel good. We're kicking off the season in 2 days. We're fired up. Georgia, 2-time defending national champion, preseason number 1, getting ready to get it on Saturday night at 6 right here on this radio station. We'll come back with more with Josh Brock, Sean Chappis. If you want to get in with us, it's 888-813-2947. Don't call at 8:55 and then say, oh, they didn't have time for me. Call early. Call now. Beat the rush. Christmas is coming. This is the Bulldogs Sports Network.
I'm John Addison, a Georgia graduate, lifetime Bulldog fan, and chairman of distribution for Primerica, the largest independent financial services marketing company in North America. Primerica makes the maximum impact on the communities we serve through our concepts and products and by giving back through the Primerica Foundation. As a Georgia-based company, Primerica is proud to continue our long-standing tradition of sponsoring Georgia athletics. Go Dogs!
At Greenpoint Ag, we know what it takes to help you win on the farm. Whether you're focused on offense or defense, we evaluate the specific needs of your operation through every stage of your growing season to bring you the best in farming. Your success is our passion, so don't settle for a field goal when you can score a touchdown. Greenpoint Ag is game day ready to serve as your trusted agronomic advisor. Learn more about our full array of agronomic and ag technology services at greenpointag.com. Farmer owned, locally focused. We are Greenpoint Ag.
You're listening to Bulldogs Live. We'll be right back after a word from your local stations. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Back-to-back national champions. Wow. Football season is here, and we at Acura and Volvo of Athens couldn't be more excited. For over 30 years, it's been a privilege to be a part of this elite community welcoming fans down the Atlanta highway. With a large selection of vehicles, an unbeatable sales team, and award-winning customer service, Acura and Volvo of Athens is the place to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle. So come by Acura and Volvo of Athens to see why our customers keep coming back to us.
The Hilltop Grill opened the night David Green hit Michael Johnson at Auburn, sending the Dogs to the SEC title. In the years since, Hilltop has become an Athens favorite, featuring premium steak and seafood. Locally owned, the Hilltop gives you the finest in food without the hassle of downtown. With an open and covered patio, reservations available for all occasions, private parties, and a sensational Sunday brunch. Hunker down and head to the Hilltop at 2310 West Broad. Call 706-353-7667. That's 706-353-7667.
Now's your chance to talk live with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars on Bulldogs Live. Reach the crew at 1-888-81-DOGS. That's 1-888-813-2947. Once again, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
Well, good evening, and thank you very much. You're in Rockmart tonight.
I was, yes.
Casey's in Rockmart. Casey wants to talk to Sean Chappis and Josh Brock. Casey, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you doing?
We are rocking in the free world, Casey.
Oh, I can't wait to Saturday. I just want to say I think that Coach Bobo and Carson Beck, I think we're going to light it up like a Christmas tree this year. I truly believe we're going to beat the
all the records was set for total offense years ago, the last time Coach Bobo was here. And I'm just going to kick back and listen to comments. Thanks.
Okay.
I certainly hope so. And, I'm saying this a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but really the only thing that could make this offense better is a fullback, guys. Open that up for debate.
Without question. Yeah. You got to bring the fullback back.
Hashtag bring back the fullback. Hondo, didn't we try to start that last year? Didn't seem to get much traction.
It didn't get a whole lot of traction, no.
But we can try again this year.
Yeah.
JT Wald being there on there with you.
Yeah,
for sure.
He would.
But
Jeremy, JT.
That's right. We had some good ones.
Fred. You played with Fred.
Brandon Sutherland. Des Williams.
Yeah.
But, no, I am excited to see Coach Bobo. And really, think about, the records he set when he was here. And then, like any of us in our careers and our professions, he's certainly grown. I think, he's a pretty humble guy, but I'm sure he would tell you, I don't know, 3-fold, 4-fold, 10-fold. From the time he was the offensive coordinator here, what was his last year? Was
14.
it 14? Yeah, before he went to Colorado State. So think about that growth he had within his career as a play caller, as a coach. And so I feel like we're going to be getting a better version of him, which is exciting to think about.
And he did a great job when he was at Auburn. He just got a raw deal.
Yeah.
Right? At the complete wrong time. Did a great job while he was there.
Has any coach ever been at Auburn at the right time?
I can get in a lot of trouble talking about Auburn the way that I truly feel about Auburn. So I'll just leave it and say no.
Yeah, no. We haven't talked about the defensive side of the ball, so let's talk about the line first, right? We've had some great pocket destroyers, first of all, guys who could take up two people. And we've had, coming off the edge, you go back a long way, but just starting with Justin Houston and Leonard Floyd and Davin Bellamy and Lorenzo Carter and Aziz. And, we could just start ticking these guys off. Who are going to be the guys on the line and at that outside linebacker, that rush linebacker that we're going to be able to look at this year to create havoc?
I'd say the guy is Mikael Williams.
Yeah.
He's just an unbelievable pop off the screen. Watch the silent film, and he plays the game the way that it's supposed to be played. But, interior is where the pass rush, and the reason why the pass rush has been so effective in the last couple of years. So to me, Nazir Stackhouse, he has to be the guy that moves the center back. And if you can't move the center and the interior part of the offensive line back, then you will not have a very effective pass rush. So he to me is the guy that needs to make things happen. Mikael Williams is going to get all the stats, but it's going to be because guys like Nazir Stackhouse move that interior pocket.
Yeah, just the way, Coach Smart and his staff have recruited over the years, I think, especially in these early games in September, in the heat, and when, the offensive lines that our defensive line will be going against maybe aren't as experienced or as deep. I think the depth is huge. You throw in a fresh pass rusher on a third down, third and long, and just let, some young guys, some guys we may not even be thinking about or talking about right now, pin their ears back and go attack the quarterback with a fresh set of legs, I think is just a testament to Coach Smart's recruiting acumen and the amount of talent they've been able to stack up in that room.
Oh yeah, the linebacker room is just crazy when you're looking at all these guys and the two Wilsons and Gabe Harris and just guys who are coming back, Darius Smith and C.J. Madden and E.J. Lightsey and Jalen Walker who can play inside or outside. Guys all over the place.
Well, you asked earlier the question of which position group is the most talented. I'll go contrary to what people automatically want to do because they like looking at the offensive side of the ball. I think it's the linebacker room. To me, it's the most talented room on the whole team, right? And you mentioned all of those linebackers, and you forgot two, not on purpose, but because that just shows you how the depth of that room is.
I was talking about the young guys.
Yeah. Between Smile Mondon and Jamon Dumas-Johnson, that is one of the best interior linebacking duos in the entire country. And they will be a key, too, to Georgia's pass rush, right? And so those guys coming back, and then everyone else that you just mentioned, a guy like Chaz Chambliss, who's played a lot, never been in that starter role, most likely going to be in that starter role depending on how they line up defensively on the first snap. So, guys like that are the ones that I'm excited to watch because we don't know, right? The last few years we've known that it's Nolan Smith, and we've known that it's Azeez Ojulari. We've known that it's these guys coming back. Well, who is that going to be this year? So that, to me, is the cool part.
Yep. Well, the The secondary. That leaves us with the secondary. And I think the secondary is just loaded like crazy. And watching some of these guys, watching the guys who are backup safety star positions, knowing who the starters are, and then watching the second teamers and seeing how they can play. I'm ecstatic about the secondary. And if we can get any kind of a pass rush, I don't know if this defense is going to be any worse than the last two.
And that's saying a lot, right?
That's saying a lot. Yeah.
We've had some great talent on the defensive side of the ball, and it's all come together in a lot of great ways. Hondo, you know the stats a lot better than I do, but just statistically, it's been off the charts the last couple of years, and have been true championship defenses, not only with the talent, but the way they play together and the way they complement each other. Like you're saying, with the defensive line and the linebackers, I mean, all three levels of the defense really complement and perform well together. And I think, to your point, we're going to see that again this year.
All right, very good. We've got Sean Chappis, we have Josh Brock, and we have more time left on the clock for you to call in if you'd like and talk to us. It was great to have the last caller. Who was that? Casey up in Rockmart. Very good. All right, it's 888-813-2947. We'll come back with Tom from Douglasville after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Hey, y'all, your summer is going to sizzle because the new Hot 7 scratchers are here. They are loaded with cash and are so hot you can roast a marshmallow over them. I ain't kidding. I mean, matches just light themselves just by looking at them. They might even give you a suntan. Go get you one to win some cool cash. Well, that was ironic.
Win up to $2,777,777. Play the new Hot 7's family of scratchers from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
Dos Equis knows Georgia game day is filled with iconic traditions. Hunkering down, the hedges, the dog walk. The pregame text to your ex for her dad's cable login so you and your buddy can stream the game even though you promised last season you were just about to get your own subscription. Whatever your game day ritual is, make sure you're doing it with a real one. Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2023 Dos Equis. Imported by Cervantes Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Don't go anywhere. Bulldogs Live will be right back after a word from your local station. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
There's nothing quite like Saturday between the hedges at Sanford Stadium. And as an official partner of the Georgia Bulldogs, the Hoffman Financial Group knows that in retirement, every day is Saturday. Whether your goal is to follow the Dogs to every game, home and away, or gather with your friends to watch at your own doghouse, the Hoffman Financial Group is here to help. We all have dreams of when we want to retire and all the fun things we want to do. But then, all the questions come up. Did I save enough? What if taxes go up? What if the market goes down? The Hoffman Financial Group can help answer those questions and more with a complimentary portfolio x-ray. Get your game plan for retirement started today. Call 770-758-6288. That's 770-758-6288. Or online at unleashyourmoney.com and set up your free portfolio x-ray. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through the Hoffman Financial Group, Inc. Georgia Insurance License 163546.
Now's your chance to talk live with Hondo and the Bulldog All-Stars on Bulldogs Live. Reach the crew at 1-888-81-DOGS. That's 1-888-813-2947. Once again, here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
Hey, thanks for staying with us today. And with the Bulldogs, we've won 33 of our last 34, in case you hadn't heard. Pretty darn nice, huh? Luke Ned Carney is our producer, by the way, and he's assisted by, we have a newbie, Ashley Gentry. She is new to the Bulldog Network, and welcome aboard, Ashley, back there at Bulldog Central. We've won 33 of the last 34. We're on a 17-game winning streak that ties the school record set between 1945 and 1947. So if, don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched, but if we can beat UT Martin on Saturday, these Dogs will have a new winning streak all time for the team. Let's go to the phones. We have time for one more call. Tom's in Douglasville. Tom, hi, you're on with Josh Brock and Sean Chappis.
Yes, sir. Is Mike Bobo calling the plays this year?
Yes, he is.
He is. Okay. All right. I love Mike Bobo, and him and Robert Edwards that year should have won a championship. But that being said, as a play caller, I'm not sure about it. Can you elaborate? Is he a good play caller?
In my opinion, he's only one of the best offensive coordinators in college football of the last 20 years. I mean, I think his track record speaks for itself a little bit. I think we're in great hands with Coach Bobo as the OC and play caller.
I agree. I was on some of those offenses that he was play calling for, and we had a lot of fun. You know, I know he has sometimes gotten a bad rap, but you look back at some of those games, you know, maybe a loss 45-42 or 44-42, and you're going, well, I don't know that we can point at the offensive coordinator for this one.
So I was just thinking that exact same thing. So, Hondo, here's a stat that if you haven't looked it up yet, I would like to know what the points per game were that our defense allowed during Bobo's tenure as offensive coordinator. Yeah, the average PP. I've seen something crazy to where it's like 24, 25 points a game that the defense allowed in his time. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but let's just assume that it is.
Yeah, well, we could take a look at that pretty easily. I do have a couple of stats here for you. In 2012, Georgia averaged 7.1 yards per play. The next year, 6.66. The next year, 6.8. Todd Monken's 21 and 22 teams averaged 7 and 7.2. So, I mean, you're right there. Mike had a 7.1, a 6.7, and a 6.8. You're right there.
Certainly. And you can even argue that the game was, you know, it's evolved more since then to more of a pass-happy offense, pass-happy league, to where, you know, perhaps in Bobo's first tenure at Georgia, you know, there was some method to the madness of running the ball on first down and second down and physically, you know, implementing your will. Again, plug for the fullbacks. But the point being, you know, and to have those numbers, would you say that was 11 or 12, 13, 14?
12, 13, 14.
Yeah, I mean, to have those numbers back then and then to, you know, match them a decade later against, you know, probably what looks like a little bit different offense is pretty impressive, too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mike Bobo can call plays, okay? I said every game, and I've told this story on the radio before, and I tell it to my friends. I said every game, and Eric Zier sits to my left. Now, here's a guy who was the first passer in SEC history to eclipse 10,000 yards. He went on to the NFL where he played for Bill Belichick and Tony Dungy. Eric Zier watches a completely different game than I do. You guys watch a different game than I do. There's no doubt about it. I watch a different game than, you know, my 5-year-old kid did when the kid was 5 years old, right? It's just a different game. We all have different levels of expertise. And just knowing how effusive Eric always was about his praise for Mike Bobo and what we were doing with our play calling, and, you know, he felt the same way about Todd Monken. I have no doubt in my mind that Mike Bobo is going to shine once again as our OC.
Yeah, and it's play calling, but to me, it's the other side of that too. It's play design, and he does an excellent job designing plays, and has for a long, long time. And you think about the mentors in his career. You know, Coach Rick being one early on in his career when he was a quarterback's coach, but he was designing a lot of plays.
Yep. All right, very good, gentlemen. We're just about out of time, and I want to thank you again for coming on out.
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
It is, but you guys had a hike in here, and it's good. We're getting up for UT Martin Saturday night. All right, for Josh Brock and Sean Chappis, this is Neil Hondo Williamson. Look at that. We're down to 45 hours and 5.5 minutes until we raise the curtain on the 2023 season. The season opener for our two-time defending national champion, preseason #1 Georgia Bulldogs, 6:02 from the Classic City on Saturday night. Join our pregame programming at 2 o'clock. Till then, thanks for listening. We'll see you next Thursday. God bless you. Good night, and go Dogs.
Creature Comforts Brewing Company is the official craft beer of your Georgia Bulldogs. These two Athens institutions have joined to connect quality beer with the passion and pageantry of the UGA faithful. So whether it's Georgia's favorite craft beer, Tropicalia IPA, the award-winning Classic City Lager, or Georgia's #1 new brand, Bigger Dreams Hazy IPA, Creature Comforts has you covered on game day and every day. Two brands, one town, one team. Go Dogs! Sip 'em. Creature Comforts Brewing Company, Athens, Georgia. Available wherever cold beer is served. Champions drink responsibly.
After school time can be chaotic, but it can also be a chance to keep the learning, creativity, and fun flowing. Thankfully, Dollar General is here with a winter before dinner pairing that busy parents can feel good about. Mott's and Crayola. Create fridge-worthy moments and nail snacks and creativity time with everyday savings on Mott's applesauce and juices, plus Crayola crayons, markers, and more. Nutritious snacks inside the fridge, their latest masterpiece displayed on the outside. It's after school made awesome. Find them at your DG.
First Liberty Building and Loan. They say yes to small business financing when big banks say no. It's Eric Erickson. Make a 10-minute call to First Liberty Building and Loan, and you will know if you're a fit for their program. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year is happening right now. So if you spend your days taking care of others and need the energy to be the best you can be, Sleep Number will bring your sleep to the next level with features like active cooling and warming. And now through Labor Day, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free delivery when you add a base. Visit your local Sleep Number store today or check out sleepnumber.com.
Hey friends, it's Mark Aram, and this is for all my listeners who are struggling with hair loss. I'm sure you've tried the lotions, pills, creams, and potions. With so many options and doctors out there, who are you going to trust? What's really going to grow your hair back? The Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair is an incredible breakthrough. Receding hairline, thinning hair, bald spots. Advanced Hair offers a simple, quick, one-day treatment that begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And get this, Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow. Works for men and women across all ages, and there is no one in hair restoration I recommend more. For your free consultation, call 470-660-HAIR. If you move forward, you'll also receive $500 off. 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with a team that has redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that guarantee. Check out incredible before and after pictures at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
When the weather is at its worst,
winds of 125 miles an hour and fury that left behind extensive damage, we're at our best.
The Georgia Department of Transportation will also be inspecting the integrity of roads and bridges after the storm moves through our state.
Stay prepared for whatever Mother Nature has in store.
Tens of thousands are without power.
95.5 WSB.
We have to open up roadways. We have to get live wires that are down.
Your severe weather station.
News,
weather,
traffic, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 9 o'clock, I'm Jennifer Griffiths. Our top story, a stabbing at the Fulton County Jail has left one inmate dead and two others injured.
I have spoken with Sheriff Pat Labatt on multiple occasions, and he's told me one of the big reasons why he wants a new jail is because it's overcrowded in there and that literally pieces of the building are crumbling, allowing some of his inmates to craft those shanks, those homemade knives that are used a lot in these attacks.
Channel 2's Michael Seiden reports this is the 5th death in a month and the 8th death in a year.